Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown Atlanta. So that may be where we are focused, but our reach, our membership, our participants are from all over the world. We are a center for spiritual living, where we teach the science of mind, where we do really basic kinds of things with spiritual practice and spiritual principle. If we understand how the world works, how the universe works, how God works, then we know how best to live within it and how to use it. This is a place where you are welcome, whoever you are. Part of what we know is that you are each an expression of the divine. You are each an opportunity for that life that is God, to move through you and move through us in a way that allows you to just show up as who you are. Therefore, we celebrate who you are. We love you without knowing your name, without knowing your face or your personality. We love you because we know who you are. And if you're here participating, then know that the divine within you is brought into a greater flame and a greater light just by being loved. And that is that which we are bringing to this moment. We love all the parts of you, but that's the one that's the most accessible, since we don't know all the other things, the personality, the life situations, and those sort of things. So I want to congratulate you for being here, for taking the time for yourself, because that's what this is, to spend some time knowing who you are and what you're about. We are offering tools this month on the game of life and how to play it, based on Francis Scovel Shinn's books by the same title. I invite you to read that along as we go through this month. So Spirit has been showing up as me, God, life, those words, these last week, hanging out with a bunch of teenagers in on the West Coast. It's our national teen camp, which happens every summer. We had about 65 teens there from all over the country and had a marvelous time. I got energized up in the morning, running up and down those hills with chasing teens, not really chasing, just trying to keep up with them. And it felt like chasing sometime. So I've had a great week. I'm happy to be back, and I will share more about that perhaps at another time. The music stopped. When I was a kid, I absolutely believed that orchestras were directed by the director holding a stick, and that stick had some magic power that brought everything and everyone together. So when I'm 9, 10, 11 years old, people saw me walking around town waving the stick. I didn't know how to conduct or direct or anything or what exactly went into it. I just knew that when I did this, music was going in my head and I heard it and it was awesome. And then a little later, I actually added a stick. I decided, there are a lot of different parts in an orchestra. So maybe a stick needed to have branches on it. So then I figured out, and I really worked really hard to find just the right stick. And I had little branches for every part, for the trombone, bass section, for the drums, for everyone. And then I would walk around town doing this. Now, yeah, you might think I was crazy, but I was only 9 years old, and I had magic in my mind and magic in my world. Well, don't you wish you had a magic wand that you could wave over anything and make a change? My magic wand as a kid was that stick. And the magic was not in the stick. The magic was in my brain and my word and my willingness to then carry on and do the work needed to become a choral conductor and an orchestral conductor. And at one point in my life, for a period of time, I could stand up in front of people on a stage, do this, and the music would start. It felt like magic. It felt like such great goodness. We all know Harry Potter movies, I'm sure. If you don't, then crawl out from under wherever you are and go look at one, because Harry Potter has shaped the consciousness of young Americans over the last several years since they first started to show up on screen and in books and all around. And from Harry Potter that he had a wand and the other young wizards had wands, and they could ping and make things happen, only they kind of pointed them and concentrated really hard. Wouldn't it be nice, though, to have a wand that would relieve pain, that would free you of your suffering if you're suffering, that would allow you to feel really good about yourself and maybe others in the world around you. Some of us would like to have a wand that would go poof and we change other people. Well, the best way to change other people, of course, is to change ourselves. I'd love to have a magic wand I could wave and eliminate all poverty for everyone. More importantly, I have a magic wand I can use to relieve my depression and sadness over some of the world situations, including the poverty of people. Wish you had a magic wand to allow you to go poof and forgive yourself. So if you had a magic wand, what would you do with it? What would you use it for in your life? That is the most important question you can decide about. What is it you desire to have different, not out there in that world, in here in this world? What do you desire to have show up? Well, you all have one already. You have a magic wand. It exists right here in consciousness within your own mind. And it is your word, as you know from the title and everything that's led up to it. Your word is your magic wand. But it's more than just saying the words. Just saying the words by themselves without anything behind it has no power. Just like when Harry and the kids were learning how to use their wands and they cast and sometimes it would come out what they wanted, and sometimes when they shot or waved their wands instead of what they were aiming for, they ended up creating all sorts of strange effects. Sure, you know what that's like. If you've spoken your word and you've set your intention and you've gone forward with it in ways, and you speak it and speak it and speak it, and it shows up as something else altogether. See, because your word is more than just the sound. The sound of the word is not what matters, even though ancient Kabbalah says that all creation begins with sound. First there was darkness, and then there was sound, and that was the effect of light rubbing together in coming out of the darkness, and different frequencies which created sound, which later created word and all creation. So it's more than just the sound. It's more than just making a sound to try to overcome what's going on around you. When I was a kid, I used to go to the movies a lot. First, we lived right across the street, so I just ran across the street. Then we moved 4 blocks away, so I had to walk home from the movies when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I would walk home in the dark. There were a few street lights, but mostly the town was pretty dark. And I will tell you that every monster I had seen in the movie showed up, hiding behind a bush, hiding in a tree, waiting to get me as I walked home. And I would whistling in the dark. I'd whistle to try to make it go away. And my little sister often would be with me. Happy birthday. Today is her birthday. And she'd say, whistle louder, because we'd both be scared. So then I've learned that whistling alone wasn't enough. So I start singing, and then usually running the last 2 blocks home. It was only a short distance, and it was a very safe place. So all was well. But that making noise in our heads to try to cover up something doesn't get us anywhere either. Speaking words that have no power are words we don't believe in. See, speaking your word of truth, your word of belief, your word of knowing, and knowing that you know, that's the magic wand. And that's the part that works. And that's the part that brings about great change. It goes beyond fear. It goes beyond all those objections you may have heard about what isn't true about something. So you use those words, you use your thoughts to open into a whole new universe. Words are like icons. Actually, they are icons. An icon is an image that isn't about the image itself. It's about what the image opens into. In Eastern Orthodoxy, there are iconic images all over their churches done in mosaics. And they all kind of look the same. These odd representations of disciples, of Jesus, of all of the powers in the universe as they understood it. And by simply looking at those icons, it was believed, and by meditating on those icons, it was believed that you opened into the actual thing it represented. Like I can say the word joy. It's just a 3-letter word. But if you're like me, and like everyone, I think, if you say that word, it opens you into a whole world of memories, of ideas, of knowing what joy feels like, the joy of a new baby, the laughter, the joy of life, just running around enjoying life, the joy of nature. All these things are incorporated in that one little 3-letter word because it's an icon into that greater universe within you of ideas, of thoughts, of feelings, of reactions. It's pretty awesome, actually, isn't it? Do we have that power within us? If you may remember, Harry struggled pretty hard to learn to use his wand. But once he got it, once he came to believe in it and in the word that he was casting, it always happened for him. It can always happen for you the same way. So here's what you have to do to make your wand work. You have to have a clear idea of what you want it to do. Prosperity. I am prosperity is my word. Not I will have prosperity, because that would be in the future. And the future never gets here. Have you ever noticed? Tomorrow is always tomorrow. Today I am prosperity. Today I am love and loved. And if that doesn't feel right, then you start looking around in your mind and in your consciousness and in your experiences to see where that is true, even if it only seems true to a small amount. I am the one who loves. I am the one who loves where I am. I am the one who loves the people I'm around me, or I'm the one who loves one person that I may know that is around me. Wherever you are in the spectrum of belief and faith in yourself and in the power of these ideas, wherever that is for you, just start there. Start with what is instead of what isn't. Don't pretend the other stuff isn't there. Just don't put your attention there. So it's about being clear on what you desire and what you believe, and have that belief based in truth. What is really the truth for you when you speak your word? And that it isn't mixed up and tainted or diverted by some kind of belief in two powers. I mean, that is the core of what we teach around here, is oneness. There's only one power, not two. No matter when and how it may seem to be showing up as two powers in your world, there are two kinds of effects, but there's not two powers. Some people can use the power of life to create great chaos and terror and difficulty for themselves and other people. But you always have the power, the ability to use that power to create something else. So probably the most important thing in starting to exercise this or experiment with your wand, experiment with your word, and using it to create the life you desire, is to decide and choose. It's more than deciding, it's choosing. What do I want my word to be for? What do I want it to create for me? What do I want myself, my life, to create for me, because I love it, because I have a desire for it, because it just bubbles up everything in me that's exciting. In our world of science and mind, we tend to kind of divide things into 4 categories. health, wealth, love, creative expression. Creative expression being a fancy word for work. So are you prospering according to your desire? Or is that part of your use of your wand a little wonky? Desire, and it's not just about desiring more stuff, but desiring that deep feeling of knowing that you're prosperous no matter how much stuff you have or don't have. That the flow of life is coming through you in a way and out from you and back to you that allows your life to prosper. Or your health, your physical health. Is it where you want it to be? Is it what you want to do and be and become? And are you interested then in creating a deeper, more real commitment to waving that more wand of your word and bringing greater and greater health to yourself? Health to yourself. Love. We always can do with more love. We can always do with more people to love and more people to love us. Wow. What a way. What a thought that you could wave your wand, pow, and find love. Find other people loving you. That one's pretty simple. You got to believe in the power of love and you got to use it where you use it. Not to try to make somebody do something, but to just love them for who they are. That's so easy for me right now because I'm just back from that amazing camp where we just created an atmosphere, a whole camp atmosphere of love and support. One of our last events at camp was to get into circles with the advisors on the inside because we were the smaller circle and the teens facing us on the outside in a larger circle, and we faced them. And in silence, we just slowly moved around the circle and looked eye to eye at every teen and felt and believed and knew within us we loved them, every one of them, even the ones that were feisty and sometimes not behaving the way we wanted. None of them did anything other than be themselves, and all we did was love them. It was one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had. And there was a lot more that if I tell you about it, you got to come to camp and either be an advisor or a teenager to experience and to know it. But the love was flowing so easily, so freely. But many of us do have difficulties in our loving situations with people, with relationships, with family, and with others. You can use your magic wand to change that and to work. To love your work and work your love. To reach a point in your own consciousness where what you are doing for work, as work, is simply a matter of giving your gifts in a way that brings you great joy and income, perhaps, and other kinds of payback, but it's all about keeping the circle going, keeping the flow going. Yeah. So once you get an idea in your mind, this is my project. This is what I really want to bring forward. This is how I want to use this wand to create something better for myself, to go Shazam or abracadabra or whatever words you use, to bring some new magic into your life. We here in the Science of Mind teachings and teachers have a practice that I kind of think of as improving your wandmanship or wandwomanship, improving your ability to use your word to create the life you desire. Because here's the catcher that sometimes is missed by people or sets us a little on edge. And that is your words, those words that are backed by what you really believe about something or someone, are your magic wand, and they are always working. Holy Moses, who knew? Who knew? They're working whether it's according to your intention or not. It may be unintentional, but you may be carrying a whole lot of feelings about something, about love being difficult and painful and loss focused. and hurtful and all of those negative kinds of things. And with that, there's always a demonstration. There's always your wand bringing into your world experiences to back up what you're believing, what you're saying, what your word is about. But we're going to talk today about this tool that we teach that helps you hone that in and become much more purposeful and focused and more effective in wielding your magic wand. Excuse me. Now, here's what you know. Here's where you start. We call it spiritual mind treatment, which sounds like a big, complicated thing. It isn't. It is simply treating our own consciousness, thinking through our own mental state, our own ideas and thoughts about a thing, and to put it into the realm of the divine and the realm of what is the ultimate truth about this, and aligning ourselves with that so that our wand works. Harry Potter's wand worked because he gathered to him through these ideas the power of the infinite, the power of the universe to come into and focus on that which he desired. Shazam. I know that's not what he said, but that's what I say. So the first part of a spiritual mind treatment, the use of your magic wand, is to gather into your consciousness all of the ideas you can think of and that you know about this infinite universe in which we live, which we move and have our being. What is its qualities? What is its nature? What are its qualities? Qualities like love, creativity, peace, harmony, power. And we gather them from the perspective of that which we're wanting to use our wand for, not just on any old thing, but what do you want to use it for? If I'm using it to create greater prosperity, boom, then I start with knowing this amazing universal prosperity in which we all live. We have a prosperity of life forms. We have a prosperity of lives within us. We're not just an individual life. We are the carriers of millions of other life forms, which are here and within us to support our life and our ability to move through time and space on the planet. So if you're creating the idea of love, of greater love, then it's recognizing all the ways that love shows up in the world. Loving color, loving beauty, loving people, loving experiences. Just seeing it as an ultimate, infinite, knowing that there is only one power. That power is love. That power is prosperity. That power is truth. And that power is yours within you. Second part of it is to recognize that you live in this universal field of energy and information, which you have just named and defined for yourself. I'm creating my universe of prosperity where it's flowing easily and freely to me and out from me as I seed the prosperity in the world around me for other people and other events and things. I know and believe that I'm so immersed in a world of prosperity. Look around and you see so much of it. Billionaires, more billionaires than ever on the planet. That simply means there's more for all of us and more opportunity. Now, I know if you just look on the outside with only the outer eyes, you'll hear a different story. That those people are sucking up all the good and they're sucking up all the potential and all the possibility. Not so. You can create the potential and possibility within yourself because it's already there. You can create the use of it by recognizing that you stand and live and breathe and move in a universal prosperity that cannot be denied you unless you deny it from yourself. That's who you are. I am prosperity. And then you move on to the next step. What are you really wanting to bring forward? What are you believing in that you know that you know that you know? What is your greatest desire to create in your life? If you could use your magic wand for anything, knowing it would always work, Poof, what would you use it for? Then you go about the business of claiming that, of naming it, of speaking your word, speaking into your own consciousness, the icons, the ideas that represent and represent so much. It's an interesting phrase now going around among on the internet and everywhere else. It's, what do you represent? Represent. Just get up. Represent. Represent yourself. Represent your truth. Represent your belief. And I don't know about you, but as soon as I declare some of these things, if I don't believe in them 100%, if I don't have the faith in them and faith in myself and faith in the power of consciousness to create, then other ideas pop in. Yeah, but I am prosperity personified. I know that. I believe that. It has proven true in my life again and again and over and all through it. Do I have $1 million in the bank? No. I don't need that to prove the truth of my teaching. I know where my supply is. I know that wherever it is, when I am requiring it, it comes to me. And it flows through me. Now, yeah, I got some cushion in there. Nothing wrong with that. But you don't have to be a millionaire to be prosperous. And if you define being a millionaire as prosperous, and you become a millionaire, that won't be enough. Because then you're going to need to be a billionaire to be prosperous. The prosperity comes from the consciousness of prosperity. So declare it, know it. And then when all those ideas come up, well, if I'm so prosperous, how come? How come my bank account is overdrawn? How come I'm not able to do the things I want to do? How come? Or it's just not true because of those things. See, that is a subtle belief in two powers. That there is prosperity and as a oneness, as an expression of the infinite, and something else. And whatever that something else is what's causing the problem. The devil made me do it. Well, we don't really believe in that anymore. And yet, I think we have subtle beliefs that there are processes and people outside of us who have the power to control what we are on the inside. And that is just not true. So what we have to do then is work with that denial step to say there are ideas coming up that I've picked up in the world that I've gotten from various people and places that just are not the truth. Not when you start with the idea there's only one power and it is moving through me, in me, as me, period. Now you may have to do that little dance for a long time, that affirm and deny. I affirm I am prosperous. No, that's not the truth. I affirm I am prosperous. No, that idea that I don't have enough money is not true. Until you reach a point where you can say clearly, I am prosperous. And you feel it, and you know it, and your heart sings it. And your word just flows out. So you release those beliefs in two powers. You release your fears. Fear is simply faith in something you don't want. Faith that the thing you don't want will happen. So you turn that around. You don't get rid of faith. You just change the direction of it. That's what repentance means, going the other way. If you have unforgiveness about something or resentments that you're carrying, it's hard to be treating for prosperity, knowing that prosperity is coming to you, and then seeing somebody driving by in a car that's much nicer than yours and resenting it. I used to get mad anytime someone cut me off if they were in a nicer car than mine. If there was some beat up thing that I wasn't sure would even make it out on the highway, I didn't mind. I'd be very thoughtful. How about being thoughtful for the ones who forgot what you want? How about loving that and loving them? And then you just rinse and repeat. You keep wanding and speaking your truth and getting truer and clearer until it all starts to show up. And then that next step is gratitude. If I know that I'm prosperous, what can I feel other than gratitude? No resentments, no fears, no divisiveness, only gratitude. Gratitude for all that there is. Gratitude for who I am. Gratitude for being alive. And then we have the release step, which is simply to release it all. Know that I've done it. I've got the work there. I release it because I don't. Imagine if Harry had gone around all the time checking to see if his wand was still working. He wouldn't have gotten anything else done. You don't dig up a seed to see if it's starting to sprout. You let it be for a while. That's what we do with the last part of this. And then you trust in deep faith that it's coming to pass for you. So here's the kicker, and then I do need to move on. That is, guess what? There ain't no magic. That's good English, right? Ain't no magic. No such thing in the real, truthful world. We have many things that appear magical. I'm not saying we don't. We use that adjective a great deal, and it's a good one. You know, the magic wand is only magic because of the consciousness that's wielding it. The magic spiritual mind treatment, the magic of your soul, the magic of all these things are simply descriptions of that say they appear to be something more. Years ago, a friend and I went to the Harry Potter store in New York City. We had his young kid with him, and they went in and had the opportunity to buy one thing. So they bought a wand in a box. It was beautiful, well carved. It was lovely, a lot prettier than this thing I've been waving around. And he was so excited. It was like $45, something like that. Maybe more, I don't remember. That was a long time ago. That youngster is now grown up. But when we got outside after we bought it, he immediately pulled it out of the box and started doing this with it. And then he started to cry. It ain't working. There's no magic in the wand. There's no magic in any of this. But what there is the alignment within yourself with the universal truth and how it works. It isn't magic, it's natural. It is natural law. When you know what you want and you desire it and you believe in it, isn't it amazing how it shows up? I've had so much magic in my life. I had a whole list of examples here, but we're about out of time. So I invite you to think of the examples in your life that may have appeared to be magic. I began to get very clear back, about 6 years ago now, that I wanted to be back in Atlanta with my grandchildren and with my family and my daughter and my son-in-law and back in the place where I first learned this teaching. And poof, out of the blue, the former minister here called me and said, I am going to be leaving. Are you interested in coming here and taking over this center? My answer, of course, was immediately yes. And the timing was perfect because I was at the end of 2 projects at home office where I was working at the time. And the time was just absolutely perfect to move back here. And I have moved not back here, but forward here and found wonderful new experiences with the people here, with you, and with more. See, there was no magic in that. There was only the universe operating the way it is designed to do. It is designed to create. And the power of that creation comes from our magical words. Our words of power, our words of truth, our words of faith. And there's a good reason, because those words of faith are the very best for us. All of this is coming from that wonderful book, or these ideas at least were started there. So I will leave you with one quote, and it's this. One only dares use their words, their magic wand, for 3 basic purposes: to heal, to bless, and to prosper. And in that, know that what you say of others is said of you. What you wish for others is applied to you, as well as what you wish for yourself. Because you're wonderful, absolutely without question. You're an expression of the divine. So am I, so it is.
Whenever I have hurt in my heart, I whatever, I don't know what to say. I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Anytime that I'm stuck in my pain, I ask, what would love do? Anytime that I feel ashamed, I ask, what would love do? Anytime I can't find my truth, I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead me to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. When I have something hard I need to say, I ask, what would love do? When it seems another block is in my way, I ask, what would love do? When it seems I can't face another day, I ask, what would love do? Tell me what would love do? Oh yeah, what would love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead me to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. In any situation, I ask, what would love do? When I'm feeling limitation, I have to ask, what would love do? I need to look into my soul and ask, what would love do? What would love do? Oh yeah, what would love do? What would love do? I have to look into my soul, look into my heart and say, what would love do? What would love do? Yeah. Yeah. What would love do? What would love do? What would love do?